Joy News Prime.
And this is your most comprehensive 2-hour news coverage live from the studios of Joy News. Coming up, Chief of Staff dares opposition MPP to take its numerous press conferences aimed at attacking the Mahama-led administration outside the capital, which seems to be their comfort zone. Ashanti Regional Police Command declares war on stoutly built men locally referred to as Macho-men during elections following attack on 2 Catholic priests. Pilot of the much-touted BRT system kicks off Monday morning with free ride for commuters, while officials caution public not to be overly expectant.
And ahead in business, Ghana Transport and Petrochemical Workers Union says decision by management of Ghana Gas to sack 4 workers of its members for embarking on a strike is an attack on labor.
Also, Chairman of Finance Committee of Parliament attributes lack of transparency and efficiency in collection of taxes in the informal sector to politics. Details of these plus sports, entertainment, Joy News Interactive, and the latest on the U.S. presidential debate coming up. Please stay on. In our first story, there have been mixed reactions by some members of the public as the bus rapid transit system started pilot operations Monday, even as managers of the system caution it will take a while before the system can operate to its full capacity. The buses are expected to facilitate movement through the seemingly congested capital. The BRT system will, for the rest of the week, offer free bus rides through the capital city. Joy News' Derek Ekol-Sam took a ride on one of the buses and filed the following report.
So we are at Tudu and Accra. This is where the BRT buses will take off before they go to their various destinations, to Achimota, to Ofankor, and then to other places. Today, they are having a simulation exercise of a sort. They want to see whether or not the systems would work. They want to test the waters to see if people are even aware of the operations of these buses. So come along with me. Let's go on this ride and see what it is we can learn on the ride today. The buses have become operational from today, as in the simulation exercises today. Tell us why it appears that not many people heard about it. Why?
Yeah, like I told you from the beginning, this is going to carry on from today up to Friday. And then the idea is to test the system, 1, to see the competency level of the drivers, 2, the challenges that are on the route, and then 3, to see if the comments of the passengers which you are going to pick to enable us to roll out a nice customer care system for the bus system.
So for how long will you have the simulation exercise?
For 1 week, today and Friday. The cards which are going to be used for boarding the bus are going to be out, and they will show you how to charge it, like the ECG card, for instance. You can decide to charge it for a month or a week, depending upon your pocket. And like I showed you, you just show it to the bus. If you enter, you are going out, then the bus will deduct. It depends upon the number of bus stops you used. And the fee will be, I think they will reveal it to you today at the press conference.
Okay, so when your card runs out, as in when you run out of money on your card, what happens?
The nearest bus stop, the service is there. You just go there and then charge it.
Okay. And I know that you can kneel the bus and raise the bus. Why is that so? Yes,
it's about the leveling of the bus, the loading bay. The bus bay, you have some caps. And then there are people who are physically challenged, the elderly, who this bus is really meant for. They may not be able to climb. So the bus must aid them to enter it easily. That is why they're kneeling to lower the height, and then after that, it goes up. Sometimes when it reaches an area where the land is, the challenges on the road pavement, the bus can raise itself to be able to surmount those obstacles.
Why did you join the bus today?
No, because they say it's free. They want to see how it is. That's why I joined the bus.
So what have you realized on the journey?
Oh no, it's good. But only when they can maintain the bus. It is the main problem. Maybe today is new, but next time maybe when it is old, they can maintain it. So we need them to maintain the bus. That is my problem. They say today is free. And maybe later on they'll be taking more money from us.
Yes, from Monday you'll be charged.
So we don't want to know the amount maybe we'll be paying from Monday.
It's very, very nice bus. So
What do you like about it?
Oh, I like to make it come plenty. Then you continue to board the car.
Okay, so tell me about the ride from where you joined up to here. What have you seen?
Oh, I still say it's very, very nice. So air conditioning so it's a very, very nice car.
I can say this bus is so special. It's model bus that I never see before. We have a whole lot of bus. Some are come before this one's come, but this one, even the air conditions is too much. I'm feeling that this car is special car that they brought. So we all will join it, and everybody that is joining this car too, it's free. Nobody is paying anything.
Okay.
Meters. But Chief Executive of the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive, SAMPSON GYAMERAH, is cautioning commuters against being overly expectant of the new system because many of the bus lanes have still not been constructed. He spoke to Joy News reporter Maxwell Akbakba.
Is trying to meet one of our attributes, which is to reduce the journey time. As you can see, we are calling, for me, I will not say this is a full BRT. It is not a full BRT. There are certain attributes of BRT that we are putting on the system to enhance the quality of the system. The attributes include the payment system, that is the automated fare collection arrangements. But for you to have the full BRT experience, you should have dedicated facilities for the buses from origin to destination, which is not the case that we have. The 22-kilometer stretch that we have actually has just about 13% of that stretch having dedicated facilities for the bus, and that is between Achimota and Tudu. And that gives us a journey time savings once they are operational of about 15 to 20 minutes. So your normal journey from Amasaman to Tudu, that takes about 90 minutes to accomplish. We are expecting that once our systems are fully operational, it will take about 70 minutes to do that journey. So basically, those are the things that we are attempting to test, and the readiness for the drivers to be able to run scheduled operations, so that we have realistic, what we call the differences in the time of arrivals of the buses are all properly scheduled and monitored from the control room, our control room at Achimota. Those are the things we are testing currently.
Are you able to tell us when we'll be able to achieve a full BRT system?
Well, the dedicated facilities have to be created and added incrementally on the system, so that the more we have dedicated facilities for the buses, the more we can be able to be assured of proper scheduled services and a shorter journey time. Those are what the key attributes of a BRT are. Until we have that infrastructure incorporated, it takes time to get those things done, and it costs some money. But we are getting this pilot on the road so that we don't let that stop us from giving the people the kind of bus services that we want.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Police Command has declared war on stoutly built men known in local parlance as Macho-men to foment trouble in election 2016. The regional commander, COP Kofi Boakye, told officers meeting in Kumasi the command will not tolerate lawlessness involving Macho-men. It follows the arrest of a former champion of Ghana's strongest competition who assaulted and wounded 2 priests of the Roman Catholic Church at Edujama in the Ahafua North South district of the Ashanti region. The Ashanti Regional Police PRO, Yusuf Mohammed Tanko, and one of the alleged victims have been speaking to Nhyira FM's Ohemeng Tawiah.
I heard a noise of a car with a flat tire driven towards my mission house. I thought the driver is passing by to the organizer to repair the tire, but I heard that it has stopped. And immediately it stopped, I heard a noise. Papa, ya power chow, eja ya power chow. Papa, we beg you, please, we beg you. So I rushed from my office to the scene. And when I came, I saw a giant, huge man who has held my associate, Reverend Father Antonio Boateng's neck. So I too joined the 2 old men to plead that, please, I am the parish priest, so please, I beg you, if there is anything, forgive, and let us settle the case or go into police station. Then immediately I said that I'm the parish priest. He said, Then he gave me a heavy knock at my cheek. That put me down. I fell down. So I held the leg, and then he pulled out a knife from the back pocket and shook my head. So after that, I fell back, and some people came to my rescue, washed me, and took me to the hospital.
Command is very particular about people using their physique and their strength to intimidate people and also cause confusion in the system. Today, there was an officers meeting when the regional commander issued stern instructions to all officers that in a situation where there is a problem somewhere and they go and people are using macho men, they should endeavor to arrest them and bring them and keep them in cells and take them to court. In the situation where the strength of the officers involved is not enough to deal with those macho men, they should quickly ask for reinforcement. You know, elections are coming, and during elections or run up to elections, people use macho men to commit a lot of atrocities on innocent people, and that is exactly what we want to stem. We will not allow that to happen. And we have brought the case here also that we will ensure all cases that involve macho men are centralized in the regional headquarters, so that we'll be able to deal with it, so that in the situation where we are told that some macho people have gone here and have done this or they have done that, we have their photographs, we have information on them, we will surely follow up and get those people arrested. And we are telling the population that anybody who uses macho men to threaten or cause any
Well, Ohemeneng Tawiah, who's been following the story, joins us on the line with more. Ohemeneng, good evening to you.
Good evening, Alba.
Now, we heard the police PRO talk about the fact that in times past, particularly in election years, these macho men are recruited to intimidate people. But tell us about the incident that happened today. What sparked the feud between the Roman Catholic priest and these macho men?
Yes, Araba, the incident happened on Saturday at about 5 p.m. When Reverend Father Anthony Weija, an associate parish priest at the GYAMERAH Roman Catholic Church, went to the episode number 2 to announce to the congregants, informing them of an upcoming send-off party for the senior parish priest, Reverend Father Daniel Afum. The two of them are victims in this assault case. So whilst in the community, according to him, the suspect, Mohammed Sani, was riding a motorbike recklessly in the community. So even at a point, they talked to him, and so he thought that once he had spoken to him, probably that would have ended the matter. But Sani chased him on the way and assaulted him. On the way, he managed to escape from the grave until he got to the outskirts of the GYAMERAH. He assaulted him again, pulled a knife, and also cut through the car, the vehicle tire of the victim. But the pastor, the minister, drove over the deflated tires to the mission house, where Sani, who was still riding a motorbike, chased him to the house, pulled him from the vehicle, and assaulted him severally. Reverend Daniel Afum at that time was in his office, so he heard the pleadings of Reverend Father Anthony Weija, and at that time, two other elderly men had come to his rescue, pleading with the stoutly built man to leave the parish priest, but he wouldn't do so. So immediately the senior parish priest came. He also assaulted him. According to Reverend Daniel Afum, he gave him a dirty slap, a blow on the face. He fell and held the legs of the suspect. It was at that point that he pulled a knife from his back pocket and stabbed him in the head. So from that point, he fell unconscious. But with the support of other people, he was sent to the hospital, where Stanley also continued with the assault on the associate parish priest until he left the parish priest to wherever he went. So that has been the case.
So, Ohemeneng, if I understand you correctly, the parish priests were attacked without provocation. Is that it?
Yes, according to the parish priest, yeah, they were attacked without any provocation.
All right. And with 71 days to the general elections, this is where to stay for all your election-related stories. Now, Chief of Staff Julius Deborah has taken a swipe at the opposition New Patriotic Party for organizing press conferences aimed at attacking the Mahama-led NDC government. He charged them to get out of their comfort zone and send their campaign messages to the electorate outside Accra if they really want to win the upcoming elections. Julius Deborah said this when he joined party sympathizers in the Akachi South constituency over the weekend to kickstart campaign activities in the constituency towards the December 7th general elections.
The likes of the National Democratic Congress Deputy Secretary, Koku Anyedoho, a former transport minister, Jifa Tivo, and the Volta regional organizer Henry Ametefe took turns to speak to the enthused crowd at Akachi, charging them to vote massively for the NDC in the elections. Addressing party faithful, the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, emphasized that the MPP's continuous organization of series of press conferences in Accra would lead to the party's failure to win the upcoming elections. He backed his claim with the story of a farmer who does not visit his farm to cultivate crops, yet hopes to harvest crops in the near future.
Some people, they want to farm. They want to harvest a lot of crops. But you know what they are doing? Instead of going to the land to plant, they are all seated in Accra and saying on radio, we want to farm, we want to harvest. And they are organizing press conferences 7 times in a day, saying that, describing the farm they want to farm. When you do that, are you going to harvest anything at the end? No. You probably will not get anything, and you may be forced to go to court, trying to look for something you didn't plant. In other words, we are encouraging our opponents that if you really want to have power, you have to go to the people and explain to them what you intend doing for them. We love it. We want them to continue staying in Accra and be insulting and be organizing press conference once we take the field.
He also reaffirmed that President Mahama would win the upcoming elections, adding the numerous developmental projects scattered across the country under President Mahama would convince the electorate to renew his mandate.
I'm here today to reaffirm our winning possibilities to the people of Akachi. I want you to know that if you travel from the left, north, south, east and west of this country, everybody is saying that President Mahama has started well and we have to give him the next term for him to continue the good things he's doing.
The Member of Parliament for Akachi South, Bernard Ahiapo, emphasized that he will sacrifice himself and work for the development of his constituency. I will sacrifice myself to ensure our constituency is developed. I have the backing from the presidency, bigwigs in the NDC and the traditional authority. So be rest assured that I will deliver on my promise. You have seen what I have been able to do within the last 3 years. And I am ready to do more than that when you again vote for me and President Mahama on December 7th. A divisional chief of Abet traditional area, Togbu Amegabisu, who spoke on behalf of his fellow chiefs, joined the League of Chiefs who have endorsed the NDC government based on developmental projects in the area.
We, the chiefs and people of our traditional area, are most grateful to the government, and we wish to assure you that we are solidly behind the government and our MP, and pray they remain in power to continue their development projects in the country and abroad.
A campaign task force team was outdoors to spearhead campaign activities in the Akachi South constituency to ensure the NDC records a vote margin of 40,000 more votes than the MPP in the December polls. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
Now, with less than 3 months to the December 7 polls and huge focus on the contenders for the presidency, it's easy to forget that they are not the only ones who are busily campaigning to ensure that they are elected. Competition for the 275 seats in Ghana's legislature, which are also up for grabs through the ballot, is keen. Let's take a critical look at one of the constituencies which is being keenly contested, the Weija-Gbawe constituency. That's where Joy News' Joseph Akablay picked camp Monday morning to gauge the mood and see what is influencing their decision on who represents them for the next 4 years.
We are here at Malam Junction. It falls within the Weija-Gbawe constituency. In 2012 election, the parliamentary fight was a straight one between the two main contenders, Rosemond Abrah of the New Patriotic Party and Obobia Daku Opoku of the National Democratic Congress. That fight was settled by some 5,962 votes, with Rosemond Abrah emerging as the victor. This time around, Tina Mensah replaces Rosemond Abrah in the polls, whilst Obobia Daku Opoku makes a second appearance. Your election headquarters is here in the constituency to speak to some electors to find out for them how the past 4 years has been for them. Also, more importantly, what will be the key issues that will be the deciding factor in their choice of a candidate for this year's polls. Let's take a ride around town and let's speak to some electorates. The questions are simple. How has the past 4 years been for them? Have they been impressed with their member of parliament? And also, going forward, what are the challenges that they want the campaign message to address?
Last 4 years, now amount for is supposed to say Jumabeko Nandi. Now this year, it will media.
Last 4 years, we expected work to go on well. This year, however, it is our prayer that things go on well so young people will get employment. We don't have dustbins in the neighborhood. Work is also on the low, so if we get someone who can help us, we will be fine.
Our roads are in bad shape. As taxi drivers, the routes we use are not in good condition. They promised to fix it. We have waited, but it wasn't done.
So, cost of living there.
If you look at the cost of living, it's high. If you compare to last 4 years, cost of living has increased by 80%. In this constituency, we need many things. Roads. Our homes get flooded when it rains. The entire neighborhood needs good drainage system. As the election gets closer, we have seen some works. I'm not so impressed. I will vote for the person who can convince me with solutions to our problems.
I've seen
Kwamina battles those years, and we had something ongoing. My emphasis is on the bridge around Lafa, which is our main concern. Whoever does it, I'll vote for him.
Yeah, but as it stands, how has the performance of the current MP been over the past 4 years?
Oh, they've all been very good.
If you say good, what exactly?
We are coordinating everybody to do the right thing.
Any project that has impressed you?
Just what is here. The bank. Very impressive, very fast.
So you have heard from some electorates here at the Weija-Gbawe constituency. These are their views. These are the concerns that they want a candidate to speak about. Some of them are impressed, others are not so impressed with the performance of their MP for the past 4 years. This is your election headquarters, and we are here at the Weija-Gbawe constituency. Joseph Akablay, Joy News.
Well, one of the main contenders, Obobia Daku Opoku, who is contesting on the ticket of the governing NDC, tells host of The Pulse, Francis Aban, why she's confident she will capture the seat from the incumbent MPP MP this year.
Everybody who lives in the constituency knows about these issues, but what I expected them to say was that it was being worked on. Clearly, if you talk about sanitation issues and talk about dustbins, it's something that the Municipal Assembly has started the distribution now. Every house, one dustbin, one house. When you have an opponent who wants to try to protect the constituency because she simply thinks that it's an NPP constituency, and obviously she knows that there's a contender who simply is all over the place, so she has to do whatever she wants to do to win back the seat for her party. And then I also think that the party has been in power so far as that constituency is concerned for 12 years, and they have nothing to show. It has to change hands. Somebody has to work in that constituency. That constituency deserves better. And the NDC and Obobia Daku Opoku will change the story. Already in the mood to vote for me because of what we have done in the constituency. Infrastructure development, massive, ongoing everywhere in that constituency. Come December 7, by close of day, ballots are counted. Obobia Daku Opoku will be the member of parliament for the Weija-Gbawe constituency.
Losing is not an option.
No, it's not an option.
comprehensive coverage of election 2016 here on Election Headquarters on TV, radio.
You're welcome back. Now, the chairman of the Finance Committee in Parliament has attributed the lack of transparency and efficiency in the collection of taxes in the informal sector to politics. Addressing a cross-section of the public during the second edition of the African Oil Governance Summit in Accra, Mr. James Aveji was emphatic that the abuse of taxation to score political points is the reason successive governments find it so difficult to enforce such policies in the informal sector. Jennifer Ekwama was at the summit and has filed this report.
The summit, organized by the African Center for Energy Policy, had stakeholders from across the African continent participating. Concerns about Africa's lack of geographic knowledge about its own oil reserves were raised, and the Deputy Minister for Petroleum, Benjamin Dagadu, explained the measures government was putting in place to level the playing field between Ghana and its foreign partners. Chairman of the Finance Committee in Parliament, James Aveji, also attributed the lack of transparency and efficiency in the collection of taxes in the informal sector to the actions of politicians.
It's difficult in the sense that I see the solution to be politics. That is what I see, it's politics. The day that all the political parties will come together, that is the day we are finding a solution to the problem. Not all of them coming together to form one party, no. The day all of them will come together and say, this is important, let's do it. This is important, let's do it. Let's put our politics aside, let's do it. But for now, if a party is in government and they introduce it, the party in opposition see that as an opportunity to come after that government in order to win the political point.
Mr. Aveji also took advantage of the event to spell out strategies put in place to monitor revenue collected by tax agencies.
Now, in Parliament also have a committee, a body that look at the report of the Auditor General to see what has gone wrong and how it can be corrected. That is why we'll be having the Public Accounts Committee and the introduction of public hearing or Public Accounts Committee has, in a way, put some of the officers who are in charge of the use of this revenue to their toes. Because in the past, we did not have anything like that. So civil servants use the money, and when the report comes, we come to Parliament, Parliament debates it, and at the end, nothing happens. Until the public hearing was introduced. Then when some officers, civil servants, face the public and they were not able to answer the question, and in most of the cases we ask them to refund the money that the report says they have embezzled. So that is a way, one way of ensuring that there is proper accountability.
For Joy News, Jennifer Ekwama.
You're still watching Joy News Prime. We have more stories ahead, but here are the headlines at this hour. Chief of Staff dares opposition MPP to take its numerous press conferences aimed at attacking the Mahama-led administration outside the capital, which seems to be their comfort zone. Ashanti Regional Police Command declares war on stoutly built men, locally referred to as Macho-men, during elections following attack on 2 Catholic priests. Pilot of the much-touted BRT system kicks off Monday morning with free rides for commuters, while officials caution public not to be overly expectant. In business, Ghana Transport and Petrochemical Workers Union says decision by management of Ghana Gas to sack 4 of its members for embarking on a strike is an attack on labour. Also, you heard Chairman of Finance Committee of Parliament attributing lack of transparency and efficiency in the collection of taxes in the informal sector to politics. Now, rabies kills 70,000 people globally. Just last year, over 50 rabies deaths were recorded in Ghana. Joy News' Seth Kwame Boateng investigates why, though a preventable disease, rabies is still killing many Ghanaians, especially children and the elderly. He discovered in his latest documentary, Deadly Pets, that the anti-human rabies vaccine can be barely found on the market in Ghana. This means, though people are bitten by dogs and may be rushed to hospital for treatment, some of the victims will die because of their inability to access the vaccine.
The foaming, shaking of the legs and phobia of water were signs that the boy's central nervous system was shutting down. As Dr. Joyce Lendami explains, it is a very painful moment.
It's painful because they are convulsing, you cannot touch them, they're aggressive, and then finally they go into a coma and they just die.
And I understand some back.
Some may back, like I said, in the, they have the dog, they actually behave like a dog and they may back. And who would want to watch their child or their friend or relative behaving like that? I think it's terrible.
Doctors say the most painful and saddest point is when the victim can clearly see that death is beckoning and wants a confirmation from you. Dr. Anthony Enimel of the Konfonochi Teaching Hospital says it is heart-wrenching.
There was one instance, and I remember so well, when I think an 8-year-old boy was asking the doctor, so am I going to die? Now look at this and the guy was very intelligent, asking you, the doctor, you know the guy is going to die.
So he knew about rabies, right?
Yeah, I mean, this time they read about it. So he knew, and he was asking the doctors, am I going to die? And the answer was, I mean, whoever, it was very difficult to respond because you know the child was going to die. But you ask yourself, what has this 8-year-old done wrong to die of a disease, to cut short his life so impromptu, just because those of us who could do something to help did not do anything?
Do you remember where the veterinarian took the vaccine from the last time you went to vaccinate your dog? Was it in a fridge or a cold box? And even with the recent power outages that hits the whole country, what is the guarantee that all dogs vaccinated within that period got efficacious vaccines? Dr. Dennis Lai has some fears.
For most vaccines, it's between 4 degrees and 8 degrees Celsius. That's what you would usually have in a normal refrigerator that has not been opened frequently. Now, we all know about doomsday and the other things. So if you have vaccines stocked in places where they don't have standby generators, for example, effectively, once it gets out of that temperature range, you can't guarantee the efficacy of that vaccine. Again, no scientific study has been done to find out whether the few places where these are available, they are potent or not.
Most of the people who die from rabies die not because they did not report at a medical facility very early. They died because of scarcity of the anti-rabies vaccine, even in the hospitals, as Dr. Samuel J. tells me.
Because of costs, and it's not like a frequent episode, so if you bring it in and it's expiring and yet it's costly, so we don't have it at the hospital. What we normally have is the tetanus, and then the ministry tried to provide anti-rabies vaccines, but even that is not always available. So normally when they are bitten, we arrange the district health directorates. They are supposed to go to the regional medical stores, get some for us. It's not always that I would say we have them available, but usually we try to keep some available so that we can at least begin the first vaccination, and then the scheduled ones we follow up with other facilities in case we don't have sufficient to complete the vaccination schedules. So the availability sometimes is a challenge.
A recent study by Dr. Dennis Lai on the availability of the vaccine on the market revealed something shocking.
This survey looked at vaccine availability, and then there's one we call the immunoglobulin, which is also like a vaccine, but where immediately the dog bite is gotten, that can also be given. And we found that we surveyed about 22 pharmacies in Kumasi, around Konfonochi Teaching Hospital, around the Kumasi South Regional Hospital, and also pharmacies in the Central Business District of Kumasi. And only one had, and even that one had only one stock of the immunoglobulin available. None of them had a vaccine.
comprehensive coverage of election 2016 here on Election Headquarters on TV, radio, online, and mobile.
Your vote is more than a thumbprint, more than party colors, more than family history. Your vote is the future. Join the conversation on Election 2016 on TV, radio, online, and mobile. #ElectionHQ.